Good morning from a sunny winter's day. I'm off to check on my van and do one of my sort of 3 or 4 weekly checks of the van. So I thought I'd take you along with me so that you can see what we do to see if that will help you. We're James and Rob, and this is our dog Oscar. It's a really steep learning curve when you start your motorhome, campervan or caravan journey, and there is lots that we wish we had known. So we decided to document what we have learned and share with you our adventures as we head out on the road again. Now, first of all, this isn't really about checking the van, but it is about security. We store our van in a secure storage space. So although that costs us, I don't know, it's about £800 a year, we think it is really worth it because we have complete peace of mind about security. And, you know, when you read so many stories about people's vans being stolen, then this gives us lots of kind of confidence. So you can see the first thing we have to do is drive through a gate, and then the next thing I have to do is put my key fob onto this keypad to get in. And then that opens up this gate, and this site is secured with cameras all around that. They even have dogs patrolling the site as well, so we feel really confident about storage, and we don't have to worry about it being stolen. That doesn't mean that we don't put all the security features on, like locks and so on, but it just gives us peace of mind. So here we are into the site. So it's been about 3 weeks since we have been to the van, and I think that sort of is a period of time that we will not leave it much longer before we check on the vans. And let's then head on into the van, and hopefully we won't see any surprises when we get in here. So we have shot a video previously about winterizing the van, and I will put the link to that video above this video, so you can see that we have taken all the carpets out and we've left all our cupboards open. We've moved all our cushions away from the walls, and obviously got rid of all the food. We have emptied all the water, taken the shower head off, left all the taps open, all of that good stuff. So everything looks in pretty good shape in here. So let's head into the cab, because that is the main things that we need to check. Okay, so I've just undone all of the blinds in the cab, and you can see the security we've got is pretty standard stuff. We just got the crook lock on here, and then we've got this pedal lock. So obviously the first thing I need to do is take them off. So there we go, I've taken them off. As you can see, the pedal lock comes in 3 pieces, and really recommend that. I am not an affiliate or anything, but I think that's a really useful device. So the next thing I'm going to do is start the engine. I'm doing this live with you, so let's just hope that it all starts. There we go. So that's good. So after 3 weeks, the engine started really easily. And what we're going to do is we're going to go out for a little ride just to get the tyres moving. And I'm also going to whack the air conditioning on, even though it's cold. I'm going to whack the air conditioning on maximum, because you want to get all the fluids moving through your air conditioning as well. So we are going to turn that up to maximum and let that run a bit, and then I'll put the wing mirrors out and we'll go for a quick drive. Now obviously I've shut some of the key cupboard doors so things don't go flying when we go driving, but I'm literally just going to drive around a bit just to get the wheels moving, and then I'm going to talk about a couple of other things to do with the tyres, pressure and parking. So I'll be back with you once we've had a drive around. Okay, so I have been for a quick drive, and in fact I went to the local petrol station to fill up with fuel, because whilst you want to make sure all your water and your heating and everything else is emptied, your grey water, your fresh water, toilet and all the rest of it, it's best to leave your fuel full. So I was at about half a tank, so I've just filled up to a full tank. Now I've read quite a few places that you shouldn't leave your handbrake on during the winter, because, or when it's stored for a long time, because it puts a lot of pressure on the brake discs or the brake pads. So what you should do is leave the engine in gear rather than leaving the handbrake on. So I am going to put the engine in reverse, into reverse, take the gears, the brake off and then turn the engine off. And one really important thing is that I have a post-it note that says engine in gear, so I am going to stick that on the steering wheel, leave it on the seat, actually leave it on the seat because it's going to fall off. And so next time I come here, I won't start the engine up with it running. Now the next thing I want to do is do a quick inspection of the van, and then I'm going to pump up the tyres. I'm going to check the tyre pressures, because you want to make sure that your tyre pressures are left on on the maximum feel that they should be. So let's just go and do that. So you're going to find the tyre pressure details on the passenger side of your inside of the door, which you can see here. So we should be at 72.3 psi on the front. Now I've just got one of these tyre inflators, which I'll put a link to it. 25-30 quid, really good value, saves you having to go to a petrol station. And you can see that this is at 71, so it needs to be 72.3. So I'm going to set this to 72.5 and then turn it on. So I'll move away, and that will now inflate my tyre to the right tyre pressure. So I'm going to check all of them. You can see that the back tyre is 79.5, so I'll check them as well and make sure that the tyre's inflated, and that is going to protect the tyres as much as possible. Now this device just shuts off when it hits the right pressure, so make sure you do this with all your tyres, and obviously you want to make sure you check them. So there we go, that's the front one done. Now let's go and check the back one. Okay, so we're going to do the back tyres now, which are 79.5. I just had a bit of a fright because I couldn't turn the leisure battery on, because I've had to connect, to turn you around, I've had to connect the pump to the TV area at the back, and the leisure battery wasn't working. And then of course I realised that you need to have the engine off to make your leisure battery work, and obviously get this to work. So that should be 79.5 and it's at 69.5, so it's way under what it should be. So let's just go to 79.5, get started. So we'll let that run. As I said, we want to make sure that the tyres are at their maximum while they're left, to give them as much protection as we possibly can. So as I say, from a newbie's perspective, make sure your engine is off before you try and turn your leisure battery on. Otherwise you'll have a fright and think the leisure battery has gone flat, even though like our van has a solar panel. Anyway, so that's the tyres, and I'm going to, as I said, leave the van in gear, and then I'm going to put the crook lock back on and the brake pedal lock back on, and we are done, and I'll be back in another 3 weeks to check the van. So that's all the tyres pumped up. Just for information, for the other side of the passenger side tyre, I had to use the charger in my car so that the cable would reach. The last thing I want to do is to put the fridge vents on. Now you can see these are still in their wrappers, so I've not used them before, so I'm sure someone will correct me if I put these on incorrectly, but basically we want to put these on so that we stop moisture getting into the van, and obviously any bugs as well. Okay, so that is one vent on, and I need to do the other vent up above as well. So like I say, this stops moisture getting in and stops bugs and everything else getting in. So that's something that we will do for the winter. And then when we start using the van again, we will take these off. So that's that done. So I hope you found that useful. Hopefully there's some tips of things that you should do when you check on your van. I'm sure there's things that you do that I haven't done, so I'd love to hear from you. Please do leave a comment below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit the bell so you're alerted when the next video comes out. There's lots of really great content on the way, including some interviews with really interesting people, so make sure you are subscribed. But other than that, hope your van stays well during the winter, whether you're using it or not, and we will see you as we head out on the road again.